Welcome back to Sailing Seadream McLeod. In this episode, the sunny weather shows up as we head north to Ketchikan, where we clear customs and do some provisioning before heading north up Clarence Strait. If you're enjoying this series, be sure to hit subscribe so you see the next ones coming up. Thanks so much for watching and enjoy the episode. We are underway out of Foggy Bay. We put sails up just in the outer bay here and getting past some of the rocks. And then we'll be heading up Beam Canal and Clarence Strait to Ketchikan. Go finish our checking in to customs here, and then we're on our way further north. Had a beautiful calm night in the inner Foggy Bay. It's definitely a tight entrance, but it's worth the trouble. There was a lot of swell last night when we were coming in here, so the outer bay would have been really awful to be in, but it calmed down overnight. And it's just a perfect calm morning today with a little bit of wind. The forecast had been calm, but there's a nice little, I don't know, 5 or 7 knot sort of westerly breeze right now. So that should serve us quite well to head north. Beautiful morning sailing here at the bottom of Clarence Strait. We're just en route to Ketchikan now and going close hauled. The wind was supposed to be light today, but we're getting a nice little northwesterly right now. So we'll take it. We're sailing. Going about 3.5, 4 knots right now. We've got the hydrovane doing its thing. Alex is reading. I'm just kind of walking around the boat checking on stuff. Doing a little video action. But beautiful, beautiful morning. Be nice to go into Ketchikan and check out the town, reprovision, and head off north. Morning breeze was unfortunately short-lived, but when it did die, there was a scattered pod of orcas spread out throughout the area that kept us entertained for probably about an hour. Well, it's not been the most exciting day. It's been pretty much flat calm for the duration, and this is the one day where we actually have to motor because we need to get in time for customs, which closes at 8. So we should be getting there at about 5. If I thought there was going to be any kind of wind, I would probably have slowed down and waited for a bit, but I don't think there's going to be any wind today. Just these little spurts here and there other than our little sail in the morning. But anyhow, we're about 5 or 8 miles, depending on which marina they put us in, from Ketchikan. Lots of cruise ships coming out of here. It's usually 3 or 4 or 5 a day that come into Ketchikan. They'll hang out for the day and then they'll leave. So we're seeing them leaving, hearing them on the radio, leaving north as well. But yeah, fine day from ordering. That's your thing. Not my thing, but gotta do it sometimes. Well, after basically calm wind for the last 5 or 6 hours, we have some wind finally as we're approaching Ketchikan here. So it looks like we might get the angle good enough that we'll be able to sail right up the channel. We'll see. But this is nice way to finish the day. It's getting a little boring, that whole motoring business. Coming in towards Ketchikan up Tongass Narrows. Getting a nice finish to the day with some sail action here. Pretty nice looking slopes above Ketchikan. There's the cruise ship harbor front here. We're gonna go tie up at the Bar Harbor up ahead here near the grocery store and some hardware stores and so on. Away from all the tourist stuff. We arrived into Ketchikan at about 6:30 and cleared customs via app. The customs agents didn't actually even come down to the boat. I briefly talked on the phone. They told me, hey, just use the app. Just load everything up, including the ship registration and our scans of our passports. And then they just approve it from their office and said we're good to go. They sent us an email with a clearance saying we are cleared into Alaska. Then we went for a walk around town. We're just walking around near downtown Ketchikan, checking out the local stuff. Beautiful, pretty warm day here. We docked up in Bar Harbor. It's about a, 15-20 minute walk downtown. The facilities at Bar Harbor are nice and are the ones to come to. But some bears humping here. It's kind of cool.
That's pretty good.
Anyways, kind of fun here. We're gonna have a little bit of a fun night tonight.
cruise ships are not around, so I think the locals are partying. Every day, like 3 to 5 cruise ships come in, and then they leave at night, and so the locals get town back to themselves, and that's we're getting to enjoy that. Just a perfect day in Ketchikan. They say it rains here, but I've only experienced sunshine. This is my 3rd time here now. All right, we've reprovisioned in Ketchikan. We got some new propane. Filled up one of our propane cans thanks to our neighbor here, Bob. He went and brought it with him and stopped by a propane place that was a little further of a walk than we wanted to do. So that was pretty awesome. Lots of really friendly folks here. So we got lots of ice, food. We filled up. We had 20 liters. I think we'd only used about 30 liters since Hartley Bay, so we're in good shape. And it's been blowing northwest all day, but just as we're getting ready, it switched to southwest, which is perfect. So let's hope this wind sticks around and we get to maybe put the spinnaker up as we head up the channel and aim for Myers-Chuck tonight. Wonderful, unexpected southeasterly breeze for us right now. We're passing the Alaska State Ferry terminal as well. There's the Columbia. I think that's the main one that goes between Bellingham and Juneau and Ketchikan, so it looks like it's just tied up for a little bit. And here's the Taslina. Looks like a newer one to me. Here's the little ferry that goes to the airport, and its name is the Oral Freeman. Why not, I suppose? There's probably more to it than I know, but that's a strange name. Does anyone know what this thing is? I haven't the slightest idea. Logging infrastructure for ships? I don't know. Here's a little Coast Guard cutter going by. Lots of muck in the back of that ship. Well, that was quite a show. We were following these humpbacks all the way out of Tongass Narrows, and they started lunge feeding. We saw a breach. Didn't capture the breach on video. Anyways, a pretty amazing southerly wind we're getting here. It's forecast to be northwest, and we are just loving this and making really good time. Going just about 5 knots right now, and the current is going to be increasing in our favor. So maybe we'll make Myers-Chuck after all. We'll see what happens in the next few hours. So there's days like today where everything just works great. We had a surprise southerly out of the Tongass Narrows, and now we're getting this beautiful sort of southwest wind that's letting us beam reach straight up towards Myers-Chuck. Perhaps we'll make it up there later this evening, quite late, but it's a pretty simple spot to enter in the dark if we need to. There's a few places we can pull over, but it's just beautiful out here. Awesome humpback show, and we're just passing by Guard Islands right now. Cruise ships are leaving us for the night, and there's snowy mountains in the distance. And Ellis is doing a great job steering again with Alex's help, guiding him along. Well, after some pretty sweet sailing, then a calm, and then some more good sailing, it looks like the wind is done for the day, and we're just gunning it for Lyman's anchorage on, I forgot the island's name. Anyways, we'll be there in about half an hour, and then there's an intricate little entrance that we'll get through, and then it should be in this inner basin that we can't leave at low tide. So that's a new one for me, but it should be a beautiful, calm, peaceful night in there. Here we are in Lyman anchorage, just north of Ketchikan. It's a very peaceful spot with a bit of a tricky entrance. At 0 foot tide, there would only be 3 feet of water, so we're stuck in here if there's 0 foot tide. I think we were stuck in here at 1 in the morning or something when there was a 1 foot tide. Coming in here last night was pretty simple. We had a minimum of 20 feet of water that I saw in the depth of sounder because we had a 14 foot tide, and we're going to leave when there's about 11 or 12 foot tide, so we should still have at least 15 feet of depth underneath the keel. But yeah, really beautiful. Just saw a deer swim across the anchorage. Lots of bird life making songs, all kinds of swainsons, then thrush out in the woods making their soccer-like call, soccer whistle call. You can also hear some woodpeckers of some kind banging away. Really peaceful in here. And a little breeze is kicked up out in the strait, so we're optimistic we'll make some good ground today and hopefully get up to the top of Clarence Strait by the evening. So while we were bombing across Dixon Entrance, I started smelling gas a bit, propane gas, and I think I realized what happened. The regulator down here, right where there's this sort of, not where the black knob is, but the silver one, started leaking, and I think what may have happened is I only had one tank in here when there should be the two to kind of keep them from moving, and I'm thinking it banged up against it and caused this leak to start occurring. Luckily there's a spare regulator on board, and so I'm going to install that this morning before we get underway. I don't tend to talk about food on my channel at all, but Alex here made some tasty pancakes, which is a treat. We haven't done this yet on the trip, so pancake morning. Woohoo! There's a nice little breeze blowing outside in the strait here, so we're going to hit the road. We've got about another half hour, 45 minutes until high tide, so this is a pretty nice time to come. Gotta get through here with a little bit of rising tide still, and we'll be on our way. Well, we're just out of the gate here out of Lyman anchorage, and we're cooking already. We're going about 5.7, 5.9 knots with a nice northeasterly wind. We're supposed to be northwest, so we'll take this. This is really nice. It'll shoot us straight up the channel here, and we're aiming to get to the top of Clarence Strait today as a minimum. This is a really nice start to the day. Let's hope it keeps up. Visit from some couple of Dall's porpoise. Played on the bow for a few minutes as we were heading up Clarence Strait here on this beautiful sunny cloudy day with a nice northeast breeze. As folks that have spent any amount of time in the Inside Passage would know, winds in this area are rarely stable throughout the whole day, and this day was no exception. Winds gradually got lighter and lighter, and we were able to put the spinnaker up, and we were able to sail to a suitable anchorage called Ratz Harbor about midway up Clarence Strait. Some nap time views from the V-berth. Pretty sweet. A little salty on the V-berth hatch, but there's the spinnaker up there, the mainsail. We're just cruising along at 4 knots or so. I'm going to try and have a nap. Once we were anchored, we went and set out the crab traps and then went out fishing in the dinghy for a little while. It was a very calm, peaceful night in Ratz Harbor, and it left us well rested for the next day when we finished sailing up Clarence Strait and then out through Sumner Strait to Point Baker. Just came out for a quick phone call. Don't get cell phone service in the little bay here. And now I'm putzing back to go to bed on this beautiful night just north of Ketchikan. That rhymed. That was fun. Coming up next time on Sailing Siege and McClyde, we have wonderful sailing to get us to the northern end of Clarence Strait, and then turn left and head down Sumner Strait to Point Baker. The next day we deal with some heavy currents, fog, and swell as we round Cape Decision, and then do a bit of night sailing to get up into Chatham Strait. Thanks so much for watching, and if you're enjoying the series, make sure you hit subscribe and like. I love seeing your comments, so keep those coming too. Bye for now!